Hi, I'm Matt Gallagher and we're looking at the new Canon EOS 7D camera. Now this is the latest digital SLR from Canon and it's actually been built from the ground up with lots of feedback from existing Canon users to actually make it as good as possible and make the handling really respond for the users. So this is a lot of changes from previous models, so let's have a look at some of the closer features of this camera. So this model has an 18 megapixel APS-C CMOS type sensor. It also uses a dual digit 4 processor for high speed. It's got 8 frames a second continuous shooting for some really fast paced work. And it's got an ISO range that goes all the way up to 12,800 in the high 1 setting. In terms of AF points, there's 19 cross-type sensors on there, and on the rear we've got a 3-inch LCD screen with 920,000 dot resolution. The newly designed sensor in this camera uses gapless micro lenses to gather the light more efficiently, and this means it can have a better ISO range and therefore better noise performance as well. The dual digit 4 processors allow an 8-channel output, which allows high enough speed processing to give you a full 8 frames per second. The processors are also better at handling noise, which means the performance at 6400 ISO is equivalent to the performance at 1600 ISO on the previous digit 3 processors. The metering is a 63-zone dual layer arrangement that analyses focus, colour and luminance. It offers 4 configurations of full evaluative, centre-weighted, partial and spot, and offers exposure compensation of up to 5 EV. The autofocus system uses 19 selection points, all of which are of a cross type. These can be selected in an individual arrangement, a zonal arrangement or an expanded arrangement, which then uses the surrounding selection points to add to the focus. Canon have improved on their class lead in video even further from the 5D Mark II, and this camera is actually capable of shooting full 1080p HD video at 30 frames a second, 25 or 24 frames a second. And it even offers 60 frames per second at lower resolutions. Also, unlike previous models, this camera offers full manual control while shooting in video. This means you can take control over your aperture, your shutter speed and even your ISO should you wish to for creative shooting. And thanks to the H.264 video format, you can shoot up to 12 minutes in length on high definition. The 7D includes a built-in flash gun, which is really handy for some fill-in work, but more importantly this is the first EOS camera to include a built-in wireless speedlight controller. This means it can actually control your dedicated speedlight guns from afar. The camera is made of a rugged magnesium alloy structure, and its weather sealing is on par with the previous EOS 1N film SLR. On first look you may not notice any significant changes on this camera, but on closer inspection you'll find that there are improvements to the handling and functionality that really do help the layout and handling of this camera. The main changes on the rear of the camera include the power button, which is moved from down the bottom here up to just over the top left here. This is a sensible move, though it may seem a little bit alien to existing Canon users. The other change is this new dedicated live view and movie button, which sits just to the left of the thumb position and to the right of the viewfinder here. This allows a quick start-stop button and allows you to switch easily between your live view and movie functions. On top of the regular menu we do have a quick menu here as well, and we've got the picture styles. The only criticism is with all this choice it can be difficult to find functions for the first time, but what it does allow is you to customise almost every button onto the camera, which is really handy if you're set in your ways of the way you work with your camera. The 19-point AF system may not be as vast as say the Nikon D300S's 51-point system, but it does cover all the main bases and is really quick to use and great for things like tracking. The metering gives an almost flawless performance, managing to keep both shadow and highlight detail, helped further along by the auto lighting optimizer and the highlight tone priority. The 8 frames a second continuous shooting is blisteringly fast, and in our testing in JPEG mode managed to smash its stated 126 shots and was actually managed to shoot at 358 shots in one go before slowing. The current street price of a 7D is around £1,500 body only, and considering the Nikon D300S is currently pricing at around £250 less, this does still seem a little bit expensive. But overall this is a really great camera, and considering all its extra features is well worth the money. That's why we've given this a gold award.